Hello. So the process I followed to develop this project was a long one. First, I took an idea of a lesson that I had actually done with my students, which was the students collaborating and creating a PowerPoint project in which they all, I had one page in which they described a little about themselves. I did this in the beginning of the year to assess students where they were and for them to get to know each other. So from there I took that idea and I had one student in mind, a target student, and I applied his needs to this lesson and I altered it from there. So for this lesson, for this class, I altered it by using a multimodal approach. With that, I incorporated many different ways of learning through storybook and group discussion. So that's auditory, visual, and literacy skills, and social skills right there. After that, there was a think, pair, share, in which social skills were developed and refined. It was a good opportunity for positive reinforcement and for instructional objectives and annual goals to be met, such as sitting for a certain amount of time, sharing with others, and modeling good behaviors for the targeted student. Another approach that I used was a small group in which the information was able to be, or the learning objectives were able to be differentiated, and the targeted student was put in a group where it had a prompted sentence so that it provided more of a structured and framed questioning to provide more support. And here also annual goals were checked upon for social, emotional, and staying on task, and for receptive goals and retention. Again, through the collection of my data, I was able to realize the students' areas which need more differentiation in the lesson, and the small group was one area in which the student needed this differentiation, which is why I put him in this group where it had the structured sentence given. And there was also a TA in this group to provide more assistance and to give prompt verbal praise and edibles so that the student would remain on task and promote positive behaviors. The last area of the week-long lesson was the technology aspect, in which through the data collection showed it was his strongest area. And it also showed that during one-on-one interactions with the teacher, the student flourished. You did not see as many attention-seeking behaviors at this time, and there was not a high need for edibles or any sort of reminders for much redirection for positive behaviors. Since this was his strong point, at this time the teacher was able to better assess his descriptive knowledge and ability to make connections from a text to himself and the world around him. So through the technology, it was a great way to summarize the different skills that were strengthened throughout this week-long lesson. And that was basically the process that he used to develop this project. It was mostly based upon the tallying of the daily assessments and from the baseline evaluations, teacher evaluations. Why do I think it will succeed in giving me information to improve students' learning and performance as a teacher. The assessments and the baseline data really helped when creating this lesson. It gave me areas in where I will need to critique to help this targeted student, and it just helps to differentiate the lesson. It shows that the same lesson that I used in my own classroom, there are so many different variations you can do to help to address certain IEP goals or certain behavioral needs of students. And this whole EDtpa assignment has shown me the importance of constant assessment, reevaluation, and modifying day by day to help create a lesson that is engaging and effective in your classroom. Thank you.